Good evening. And how is everybody doing? It's another beautiful weekend. And hello to all my followers. Alaba. Hello to you. Everybody in UK, US, Germany, Italy, um, Kenya, Zambia, South Africa, Nigeria, wherever you are, hello to you. I am so grateful that you are going to join me this evening for us to have an interesting, insightful conversation. It's all about agriculture development in Ghana. Hello, lovely farmer girl. God bless you. God bless you too. Boachi Mensa, hello to you too. So it's all about agriculture. I am here to help you know what, when, the basics of agriculture, where to invest, where not to invest, the risk, the benefits, everything that you need to know about agriculture here in Ghana and some part of Africa. So 2 weeks ago, I posted that we're going to discuss the risk and benefit of mixed farming system in Ghana. So if you're watching me and perhaps you want to come and start farming in Ghana and you have about 50 or 100, 20, 10, 5-acre farmland and you want to go into mixed farming, these are what you have to know. The disadvantages, the advantages, everything that you have to know, I'm going to tell you today. So first of all, let's get to understand the basics. When we say mixed farming, what are we trying to say? What are we driving at? Mixed farming system is a type of farming which involves the growing of crops as well as raising of livestock. So whilst you're growing crops on one hand, you're also raising livestock. So that is the common definition that you can give to mixed farming. So now let's look at some of the advantages that a farmer, being it a commercial farmer or a smallholder farmer, can derive from going into mixed farming. Okay, now the first one I would mention, it reduces dependency on external inputs and costs. It reduces dependency on external inputs and costs. So if let's say you have just a rice farm, or you have a maize farm, or a millet farm, now before you even till the farm and then think of transplanting, you would have to till the land, add some sort of manure, water it before you do your transplanting and all that. Now this is why this reduces external cost. If you have poultry farm or you have, let's say, a cow farm, the benefits that it's going to bring to you is that you are able to carry some of the cow down, move it to the field, mix it with the land, then let your tractor mix it with the soil. It enriches the soil. Cow down and chicken droppings or poultry droppings, they enrich the soil naturally. So in this case, you don't have to be thinking of now going to somebody else's farm to beg for their cow down or to buy cow down. But because you have a cow, you just have to take your truck, get some of your cow down, carry it to your farm, mix it with the soil, and then you start the process. So that is one of the benefits you get. It increases per capita profitability. Now, if you have, let's say, 3 or more crops on your land, whilst you are harvesting tomatoes, in some few weeks, you're going to be harvesting okra. In some few weeks, you're going to be harvesting beans. In some few weeks, you're going to be harvesting this. So it increases your profits margins. It increases your profit margins. You are not a one-time farmer, let's say a one-time crop farmer. So it means that if you harvest maize, you would have to wait before you replant again, and then you harvest, sell before you make some money. But in this case, because you're doing multiple crops on your farmland, the moment you harvest your maize, you have the chance to also harvest your rice, you have the chance to harvest your plantain, you have the chance to harvest your banana. So your profitability, comes every now and then. Okay, so it increases your profitability level, and it also complements each other. So let's say crops like maize and cassava, they complement each other. This one is getting a small nutrient from here, the other one is also getting small nutrient from here. So they complement each other. Another advantage, it enhances the productivity of the farmland. So I just mentioned that they complement each other. So every crops also, as much as they are taking from the soil, they give back. So if you are a maize farmer, hello Emmanuel Kotu, hi Nana Mayo, hello. So if you are a maize farmer and you also have cassava, when you harvest the maize, the maize sticks, okay, the maize sticks, and of course the corn husk that you're going to remove from it, you don't have to burn it. After you harvest your maize, just use the cutlass to slice or chop them down into pieces and leave it on the soil to rot and mix with the soil. It helps to, increase the nutrients in the soil, and it helps the cassava that is yet to, mature for you to, cassava is around 8 months to 1 year, depending on the breed or the type that you have planted. So cassava takes longer than maize. So it means that if you plant maize on, let's say 3 acre, and you have cassava like 2 acre, or let's say maize 5 acre and then cassava 5 acre, when you harvest the maize, don't pack all the tree and then the husk and go and burn it. No, leave it there. Let it dry, let it rot into the soil, and it helps the other crop that is yet to mature for you to harvest. So that is another profitability or advantage that you get from mixed, farming. The other one has to do, farmers can keep their field continuously under production. You can keep your field under continuous production. So it means that every time you are working, every time the farmland is working, it's giving you money, you are harvesting, you're replanting, you are harvesting this, you're harvesting that. So you are always busy with your farm workers. The land is working continuously because it's driving nutrient from here, helping this one to mature. You are harvesting, you're replanting, you're doing this and you're doing that. So every time the farmland is kind of working. And you know what? Mixed farming also helps a lot because you're not planting just one crop on the soil. There are some farmers who are into monocrop, and what they do is that because he happens to be a cassava farmer, every day, every farming season, the 2 seasons we have in southern sector, he does the same kind of farming. And when you do that, it doesn't help you get enough harvest or enough expected yield. So what you're supposed to know is that at least if this season you cultivated cassava, next year, that is if you don't want to do the mixed farming, next year make sure that you cultivate a different crop so that you let the land taste a different form of inputs, seedling and other things. It helps a lot. But if you keep harvesting or planting one style of crop on the land, it doesn't really help it that much. So just the few advantages that I will mention to you. Now let's quickly go or take a look at some of the crops that you can blend and plant on one land. Okay, so we have maize and cassava, which I mentioned already. Maize and cassava are 2 types of crops that you can actually cultivate on one land. And then we also look at plantain and banana. Plantain and banana, they are also allowed, to plant the 2 of them. Cocoa and coconuts. Coconut, cocoa taro or coconut taro. You can also plant these crops on one land. We also look at vegetables, pepper and garden egg or eggplants. Pepper or garden egg, you can plant them on the same land. It is allowed, it's permitted that you plant them on the same land. Then we go to maize and plantain. You can also do the same with maize and plantain. You can also look at cocoa and beans. Cocoa and beans, you can plant them. And please, those of you who are aspiring to become cocoa farmers, or if you already have a cocoa farm, after you harvest the cocoa and you remove the beans, cocoa beans from the pod, don't burn the pod. Crush it into pieces. Let it rot on the land. It is a great form of nutrient to the land. So take that into consideration. And the same thing with beans also. Do not throw the after you remove the beans, do not throw this thing away. Make sure you keep it, crush it and then bring it back, mix it to the land. It helps a lot. Then we can do tomatoes and okra, just to mention a few. Tomatoes and okra is also allowed for you to actually plant on the same land. Now, from there, let's look at the disadvantages. This is the risk that you're going to take if you cultivate or if you go into mixed farming here in our country. Decreased level of production as compared to monocropping. Decreased level of production as compared to monocropping. When you have just one plant or just one livestock, if it is goats, if it is poultry, if it is guinea fowl, if it is turkey, you know that I have about 1,000 pieces of turkey. And so you pay attention to it. You are able to capture as soon as there is any flu or any one of them that has an infection, you are able to capture it. And then you separate it from the others, get your veterinary officer to come and take a look at it. If there's crops, you call the agric extension officer to quickly visit the farm, take a sample of the leaves of the crop, and then go and test it, and then they recommend some kind of chemical for you to spray, and then make sure that you get rid of it. But when you have more than one, being it crops or you are doing crops and livestock, the level of production decreases. Okay, the level of production, because the attention, they are sharing your attention. So it means that you pay attention to this one, you pay attention to this one, and someone is suffering. So that is one of the risks you are taking if you want to cultivate more than one crop or if you want to rear more than one livestock. Number 2, animals can be hazardous if they are not firmly enclosed or tattered around. So you see, the last time I was in Tamale, one of the sheep, when we were doing the interview, one of the sheep were infected. And you can see their nose, droppings, and the anus area was having some discharge and all that. So in this case, if you have 1,000 sheep, 1,000 goats, 2,000 cows, and you're supposed to make sure that you take care of all of them equally, even with the help of a veterinary officer, the challenge of you not seeing on time one affected or infected sheep early or on time, it might affect 2 or 3 of them before you discover or before you realize that this sheep has an infection. And by the time you realize, it would have affected other 2 or 3 of it already, because mind you, you have 2,000 of sheep, 2,000 of goats, 2,000 of this and that. So just imagine the stress you're going to go through controlling them, feeding them, making sure they are kept in their appropriate places. My dear, the truth is that if there is a disease breakout, if there is an infection that one has, it is easily to affect other ones before your attention would catch it. And then by the time you want to work on it, it would have affected a couple of them. That is another risk that you are taking if you decide to go to more than rearing one livestock. The other one has to do with It needs higher level of management and trained labor, which is very expensive. So it is another risk. Moment you say, I want to do 1,000 acre of maize, and then 1,000 acre, hello, Shaka, hello to you, 1,000 acre of beans, you should know that the number of workers you're going to have will be more. The number of extension officers you will need, it might be more than one, because 1,000 acre is no joke for just one extension officer to be moving about. At times, their eyes are not everywhere. They might skip some lanes or some crops when they are doing inspection and all that. So if you are planning to go into mixed farming, you are adding crops, or you are cultivating crops, and you're also adding livestock, it means that you will be needing a higher level of management and more trained staff members, or employers or laborers to work with. That is a risk you would have to bear in mind that you'll be taking, so that when you have a number of these people around, it would help you. Morris, hello, well done to you too. It would help you to be able to keep an eye, and you will not skip anything that would cost you a lot of money. Say, we are prepare, and you don't want to hire enough labor when you are into mixed farming, then I don't know what you want to do. There will be trouble for you. The other risk you should bear in mind is that growth rate and optimal harvest date differs in appropriate climate conditions as well. So you see, carrots, onions, they have different durations, maturity period. Same as tomatoes and okra, some galito. Hello. So they have different growth or maturity stage for you to harvest. Okay? So the truth of the matter is that if you say I'm doing tomatoes and okra, it means that the harvesting level will be different from this one. So by the time this is matured, this is not matured. Sam Galito, thank you so much. I am grateful, and thank you for the feedback. So the growth rates and the optimal harvest differs, and that is stressful. It is so stressful, because by the time you finish harvesting tomatoes, you might just rest for a few days, and you have to quickly jump on and be harvesting your okra. And so just imagine, and laborers, when you finish harvesting, you don't need your laborers anymore. You will need laborers when you're going to replant, and then after planting, you need just one or two to help you go on the farm weekly. So if, let's say, you're working with about 5 or 10 laborers, after harvesting, you don't need all the 10 of them around. It will cost you money. It means that if they are charging you weekly, you have to pay weekly. But if they're charging you monthly, you have to pay monthly. So why would you keep 10 or 8 of them when they are not working at that moment? Do you understand? So it means that the growth rate, harvesting time of every crop is different. So that is a risk you have to keep in mind. That if I say I'm doing maize and cassava, if I want to do chili pepper or scotch bonnets and eggplants, their maturity level is different. So please, and the climate condition that these crops need are all different. Maybe okra need a timid kind of weather. Chili pepper needs a hot weather. So if you have all of them under one land or at a one place, you should know what you are going for. It makes controlling, monitoring, maintenance procedure more difficult. More difficult. Maintaining, one of the risks you want to do mixed farming. One of the risks you're taking if you want to do mixed farming is that maintaining, controlling, monitoring procedures are very, very difficult. Because just imagine the time you're going to devote to monitor how your cabbage farm is doing. When you finish that, you have to quickly jump and go and take care of the onion. You have to move and go to the watermelon. And you see, if you are having, let's say, big acres, let's say 10 acres of this and 10 acres of that, just imagine the stress you're going to put yourself through. Are you able to keep an eye on all these crops? You check it, you make sure you do the maintenance, controlling, and all that. So if you are going to do mixed farming system in Ghana, controlling maintenance procedure, monitoring is going to be a little bit of difficulty. Keep that in mind. Competition among the farming agents for resources. Yes, I did say that each crop has a nutrient it gives to the soil. And so if you're cultivating more than one okra and pepper on one land, maybe they all leverage on each other. But another disadvantage or another risk is that they are all competing for the same manure, for the same fertilizer that you apply. And you see, one funny thing is also that maybe the fertilizer that works for okra, it might not work for chili. So just imagine if you have your chili pepper here, you have the okra to the next row, you have garden eggs at the next row. Are you able to apply this input correctly, that one crop will not be lacking than the other one? You have to think about that. And then one species may host pathogens or diseases, transitions, and becomes more easier. So what I'm trying to say basically is that that's the last risk or disadvantage of mixed farming, is that, let's say, fall armyworm, for instance. It is an annual worm that affects maize big time in Ghana. So if you want to become a maize farmer, please prepare that every year the fall armyworm break out. And when it break out, certain farmers suffer. So if you have, let's say, maize, and you are doing maize and cassava, and there is a fall armyworm, there's a likelihood that that same worm, that same infection might jump onto the cassava. It might hurt the cassava. The transition is easy, and you might end up losing everything. But if it is just maize, the moment you discover or realize that the fall armyworm is attacking this row, you quickly get your chemicals, spray it, monitor it, and ensure that's not spread onto the next row or the next line of crops. So one risk you're taking if you try to go into mixed farming is that infection rates, transition is easy. When one crop is hosting, some pathogens or infection, it's easily to transfer to the next. Right, so my name is Enyona Manye. I am Ghana's finest farmer. My company is called Count on Crops Hub. Count on Crops Hub. We render a range of agricultural services, from hiring of extension officers, hiring of farm workers, helping you to buy a land in Ghana, helping you to check if the land is great or not, helping you to buy nursery or seedlings, helping you to register your farm. Please treat farming or treat agriculture as business and not just anything. It is business. Keep records. If you are a farmer, as soon as you start the farming, from the day you buy your land to getting your tractor, to plowing the land, to buying your nursery and seedling, to laborers that you're hiring, anything you buy, please get pen and paper and keep records of it, so that in case you have any friend or somebody who has seen what you're doing and they are interested, you have data, you have records to show that so far in the 2 years I have started my catfish farming, or 2 years I've started my goat farming, this is how much I have spent. So if you're coming on board as an investor or a partner, I am expecting that you invest 50% of what I have already invested into the farming. There is nobody who is very, very business minded will see a document like that and say, no, I'm not interested or I'm not sure. So please, if you have not registered your farm, get a name for your farm and let us have your details and register it for you. And all I say is that I charge a very small fee. A very small fee. When you call me, and I want to talk about this and that, when I say that, please pay my consultancy fee, don't be angry. Because you see, when we drive around the region to record the episodes you watch, it costs a lot of money. I pay a lot. I pay my cameraman, I pay my editor, transportation, fuel, it's a lot. It costs me a lot to produce each episode you watch on YouTube. So if you call for any services or inquiry and I am charging a little fee, don't be angry with me. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel. We have 6+ K subscribers. Can we do a 10K before this month end? Please subscribe to the Ghanaian Farmer. Share the links with your friends. You tell me how educative my content is. Please share it with somebody. Let's reduce unemployment by helping people watch this content to learn more, get interested, and go into agriculture. If you have any questions, I am open to answer your questions. If not, then I'll say, Medase. Thank you. Akbe, Numa Jobo. And then next week, we'll meet again on YouTube. Until then, thank you very much for joining me today. I am very grateful for your time. And Mother's Day is next month. I want us to visit a farming community with women, about 50 of them. Let's surprise them. I will need your support so that I can add what I have to go and donate some farming items, farming to put a smile on the face of women. Remember that agriculture, those who lack a lot in Ghana are women. Hey, you speak Ghana? Yes, I speak Ghana. Shaka. If we all Ghana, Papa. If we all Ghana. So please, if you have any question, I am here to answer your question. Please make sure you share this link for a lot of people to watch it. Nanayal, thank you very much. I appreciate your time with me. And so, hello. Yes. Is there any question or we are done for today? We are done for today. Subscribe to my channel, The Ghanaian Farmer. Let's get interactive on my community. Yes, go to my community if you have anything to share with me. Let me know where you're watching from, what your needs are. The basic ones I can help, but if it's detailed, that's where I charge a little fee. Until then, I'll see you again next week. My name is always Enyunam, Ghana's finest farmer. Yes. Bye-bye.